software without any code? Is this for real?
A person that doesn't know how to code is able to build something in 10, 15, 20 minutes that would take a professional software developer with many years of development experience a week to build.
So this is where the future is, and I'm really passionate about this project and excited about what the future holds. Big name companies, Samsung, Huawei, these people who are really intrigued by our platform and how they were able to get stuff done more quickly. It's like we had brought like 10 years into the future to now.
To be able to turn ideas around faster, where they don't need to go and speak to IT and get them on board to go and build something that might take several months.
They didn't have to do grunt work. They didn't have to waste time on projects that they weren't as passionate about. They could actually get to those quicker. People have great ideas every single day, but many times people are blocked or prohibited from realizing their dreams because they don't know where to get software developers from. They don't know how to actually enable their technology and leverage it to actually get to the end result.
We look forward to working with the community, to helping them really solve their challenges and helping them bring their ideas to reality.
You don't have to worry about the how anymore. Leave that to us.
Today, software has become drag and drop. Hey guys, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm joined by Shabeer Kirmani, who's our evangelist. He's out of our office in Florida, and we're here in our office in Liverpool Street in London. So Shabeer, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and maybe tell us why you joined Sparkster, and maybe you can even elaborate on how we know each other in our relationship.
So I think we've had the pleasure of being friends for about 6-7 years now. It's crazy how time flies. I've mostly been in the technical capacity. I've kind of been the bridge between technology and business in my professional capacity. I've worked in telecom as a consultant. I've worked in biotech, pharmaceuticals as well. Series of companies, Universal. I've consulted with AT&T, T-Mobile, companies like that, and worked a lot with the pharmaceutical industry. And in the past few years, I've actually been in the data science space. And I'm actually working on my PhD as well. I'm a PhD candidate in engineering. So all of these things combined and kind of led me to my journey now with Sparkster, because the platform, which is really phenomenal, is extraordinarily enabling. It lets people actually build code without ever having to learn software development, which is the future. I know we've gone to a lot of gatherings and meetups, and we've been talking to the community, and people feel like this is like futuristic stuff that we've been able to bring to market now, and are enabling people to actually get involved with artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things, and smart contracts. It's really revolutionary. So this is where the future is, and I'm really passionate about this project and excited about what the future holds.
So Shabeer, how do you get time to do all of this stuff? If you're working at Sparkster and you're a PhD candidate, are you full-time with Sparkster?
I am. So I look at Sparkster like a passion project. I'm really excited about this. So it's really not like being at work. You're just always engaged. There's so much going on. There's a lot of community buzz going on. So it's really part of a community, and more so a family. We've gone to a lot of events. We've got a lot of online credibility in this space, and people are really excited about this. So that actually charges your battery and keeps you running. So that's really exciting. So I don't look at it that way. I mean, even from the university standpoint, my professors have been very supportive of this initiative because they understand the enabling nature of the underlying technology, and it's really exciting on that front. So everything seems to be aligned, and this seems to be a great time to be in this space.
Awesome. And so is Sparkster part of your PhD project?
Interestingly enough, it's actually a large component now in particular, because of its applications to a whole slew and a variety of industries and fields and verticals. It's actually really powerful on that front. I do a lot of research in that space, and anything that you can do with software, you can do with our platform. So you can imagine the implications on academia as well. And so, not to do too much of a spoiler, it does have tremendous impact on my academic endeavors.
Wonderful. So, you were gracious enough to join us in MWC in Barcelona, and you got to meet a lot of different people, a lot of lovely people that came by and spoke to us, learnt about our project. Lots of investors that dropped by, and even some of the meetups that we've been visiting here in London, kind of getting to know the community. What stood out for you?
Wow, where do I start? So let's start with MWC perhaps, where we actually launched our platform. That was just unbelievable. I think a lot of people were blown away. I think I myself was blown away by the feedback and people actually getting it so quickly and so rapidly and getting so excited about our platform. I know we got a lot of press after that because people were saying that this was one of the highlights of the whole meetup, the whole convention, MWC. And so that was really exciting, but I was really, really intrigued by the response from enterprise users, business users, people in the space, big name companies, Samsung, Huawei, these people who were really intrigued by our platform and how they were able to get stuff done more quickly. And every time I go to a meetup, I see people's eyes light up when we talk about it. It's like a twinkle in their eyes. And when people see it, it's just they're mind blown. The MWC demo that we ran, the one about the AI and IoT integration where we had smart locks, people were really excited about that. It's like we had brought like 10 years into the future to now. Like people were, so all of those things combined to get people to understand and feel all the passion that we've had for the past, God knows how long we've been working on this, now is actually being conveyed and transferred to the community, and it's really exciting to see.
I think that one of the things that I've really appreciated is the diversity of support we've received, right? Whether it's from software developers or whether it's from large institutions, or if it's from individuals, we've received a lot of community support. So for example, I remember having a conversation with someone at Nestle. I believe that he was involved in innovation at Nestle, and he was talking about one of his greatest challenges being that they just can't get the things that they want to create, the ideas that they have, that they can't get them out quick enough. And he wanted to use our product internally at Nestle to solve that particular problem, to be able to turn ideas around faster, where they don't need to go and speak to IT and get them on board to go and build something that might take several months. They can use a platform like ours and turn that around maybe in a couple of days, which is incredible. So yeah, we've had a lot of support and a lot of encouragement, I think, from the people that we've met. And it's obviously been very uplifting. We've been working on this project for many years now, and to finally be at a stage where people are going to be able to get their hands on it and play with it and log in and do all of these things, it's very exciting, and we're looking forward very much to welcoming the community to our product and getting their feedback and learning from them, and what's working and what they need in terms of things maybe that are not there today. We look forward to working with the community, to helping them really solve their challenges and helping them bring their ideas to reality. Any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I was especially intrigued and pleasantly surprised by the feedback from the software development community itself. That was really phenomenal to me because, we come from tech space as well, and we're engineers, and like a lot of times we're like, what's going to be the future in this space? And a lot of the feedback was really positive from the technical community. They were saying, I heard a couple of typical types of responses. Some people were saying, for example, that this technology was fascinating and enabling, for example, because it let them take on more work, particularly freelancers, for example. They were able to take on more work. Say they take 5 projects a month. Now with our platform, they're able to take on, like, say, 50 projects. Because they're able to get them out, because they understand computer logic, they're able to get those things in place as well. The other aspect was with respect to people who understood the software environment. They were really intrigued and really excited because they were actually able to now focus on what they were really passionate about. So they didn't have to do grunt work. They didn't have to waste time on projects that they weren't as passionate about. They could actually get to those quicker. So some of our biggest champions were in that space. So I was really excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah, I fully agree. And the investors that we've been meeting recently, I think that they too, see that we have a very unique project. We're the only platform that we've come across in the world that aims to solve this particular problem of helping people that do not know how to code, enabling them to code. So, you also have got to know the rest of the team, us being geographically distributed around the world, being in the States, being in London, being in India. You've had the opportunity to now meet people from all of our different offices. How was that for you? What's your sort of thoughts and feedback on the people that you've got to know?
So it's really interesting. So I was born and raised in America. So me coming to London, it was a very different dynamic, So people are, for all the Americans watching, people are a lot more technical in Europe in general, right? So with that, what was really interesting is because when we actually got into technical conversations with them, their eyes lit up even more. They're really excited about this because it was extremely enabling technology. And we were able to organically generate that. That was what was really, really cool about that. As far as the India team was concerned, we have an office there in Bangalore. Bangalore, for those of you who may not know, it's the Silicon Valley of India. It's really, really bustling place, fantastic. And we have some of the top talent in Bangalore. And, what I was able to, a lot of our developers are so excited about this project. They've been putting in a lot of work for it, and total kudos to them. And they've been generating a lot of buzz within the Bangalore community of developers, because in the past, you would need to know several languages to be able to do some of the stuff that you can do on our platform. And not only that, you would have to have several years, maybe 10, 15 years of experience as a software developer. And sometimes that would still take you in a week. Saj, I remember the time where we had one of our developers who we demoed our product to, and we literally created something in our platform for like about 10 minutes or so, maybe less. And then we asked our developer, one of our star developers in Bangalore, how long would it take you to code this? How long would it take you to do this? And mind you, this was a guy who had over 10 years of experience, knew several languages, and he was a star player in this space. And he said it would take him a week. So that's the level that this gets people to. We're really talking about transformational technology here. So that's really what's really exciting.
I think really what's key there that I think that's worth pointing out is that a person that doesn't know how to code is able to build something in 10, 15, 20 minutes that would take a professional software developer with many years of development experience a week to build. That in itself is transformational. It's revolutionary.
Absolutely.
What do you see as, for the people that don't know how to code? How do you think that they're going to best utilize this? How are they going to take advantage of this revolutionary technology?
So this is I think lies at the heart of the platform, right? So me being in at the intersection of business and technology in my professional career for the past several years, I've met a lot of people who are business oriented. They don't perhaps delve into the technical aspect, and vice versa. There's a lot of technicians, people who are engineers, very technical, but the business model is not really their strong suit. I see the gap being totally bridged with our technology, and that's really what's phenomenal. And so, for example, people have great ideas every single day, but many times people are blocked or prohibited from realizing their dreams because they don't know where to get software developers from. They don't know how to actually enable their technology and leverage it to actually get to the end result. That's really what's profound about this. And that's really what's going to change the world. And we really believe that. I think each individual on our team actually believes that and strongly believes that, and that we live that every single day. Imagine the implications that this could have with someone, say, in a developing economy. A person who doesn't have access to resources like we do in America or the UK. This can actually help them realize their dreams and ultimately help alleviate poverty. That's the vision. That's where we're looking. That's where we're going down. And what's amazing is the community has actually aligned with this vision, and they're excited and amped about this. But let me ask you a question, Saj, if that's okay. Let's be very frank here, and we like to be that, right? So what if somebody's watching this and they're like saying that, guys, this sounds too good to be true. Like, like this is like software development, not apps, not just a website, but software without any code. Is this for real? In plain English, drag and drop interface? Blocks of logic? Like, how did you guys do this? What let's be honest. Let's have a candid discussion. What if someone were to say that to you? So, what do you say to a guy like that, or a gal like that? What do you say to that?
It is true. It's absolutely true. Today software has become drag and drop, right? And the reason that's possible is because we have about 200 different components in our platform that are essentially doing the job of generating and creating software based on what you describe. So one of the fundamental differences, you might ask, well, how do we go from 1 week that a software developer's efforts to 10 minutes of someone that doesn't know anything about software development, right? That sounds a bit outrageous, and I admit, right, that sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, the way that is possible is that in our platform, you don't ever have to describe how anything works, right? You're just describing what you want to happen. So there's some examples on our YouTube channel where you can take a look. And, on one of the pages, for example, we're saying we want to start a timer. Now, a software developer would traditionally have to explain to the computer, how do you start a timer, right? For us, it's a single block: start the timer, stop the timer. Another wonderful example, right? I want to find the location on a map, on a Google map. I want to find a location that someone types in on a Google map. That's one single block. You drag it, you drop it in place, bang, you got that capability. So what you can think about, and an analogy, I suppose, for what we've created, is that we've got these blocks that have a bunch of code behind them. And that's not exactly how it works, but it's a good way to think about what's going on. So you're grabbing a block and saying, I want this to happen. I want to be able to look up a destination on a map. I want to turn a light on. I want to open a lock, right? I want to fire a message when someone's face is recognized. You don't ever have to worry about how any of that stuff works. How does any of that stuff happen, right? So we've taken what we consider to be 95% of what people would want to be able to do, right, with software, and we've exposed those things in our platform as blocks or as capabilities that people can then take advantage of. And that's how software development can be sped up dramatically, and how software development can be made accessible to people that don't know how to code. Because you no longer need to know or worry about how any of this stuff happens, right? If you can describe what you want to happen, then you can grab some blocks, put it together, and hey presto, you've got software. And that's the real paradigm shift. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So one of the things that was really interesting, particularly when we were at MWC or when we show people our product, is on the interface behind the scenes, what the user sees is, say, blocks of logic, say maybe 10 blocks of logic to create an entire software piece. But behind the scenes, there may be several thousands of lines. So 10 lines or blocks they'll see, but that's actually 10,000 lines of code behind the scenes. But we take care of that, and no one really has to worry about that. And we've set up in a secure and scalable way. So that's really what's exciting about this, that you don't have to worry about the how anymore. Leave that to us. You just worry about your why and building your community. And that's really where we're charting the future.
So, you spoke a moment ago about empowerment and, helping people alleviate poverty. So I want to kind of speak to that, right? I think that's an important part of our mission here at Sparkster. And I want to talk about how we might make that happen, right? So not only do we give people the tools to be able to bring their ideas to reality, right? But our marketplace provides them with a place to be able to take their ideas and find paying customers. And I think that that's what's remarkable, that when you can combine these things, when you can combine IoT, artificial intelligence, smart contracts, and many more things to come in the future, and create your own ideas, then take those ideas and publish them in a marketplace, where in this marketplace, people can come along and, who have similar problems, or know people that have similar problems. They can come and find a solution to those problems, and get them out to get them out to the people that need these solutions. You're really finding yourself a community of customers, and I think that that's empowering. That enables people to find themselves a source of income that they didn't have before. This is the whole idea of how we sell ideas in the future, right? We move away from selling our efforts to corporations, but rather we sell our ideas to one another. And I think that that's remarkable.
You reminded me of, I don't know if you remember this, the taxi ride home in Barcelona. I remember the gentleman who was who we sparked up a conversation with, and he had a very interesting story. He is from a migrant family that had moved to Spain and kind of learning the ropes. He was the eldest brother, and he had some siblings. And he was telling me a story, and he was saying that I've chose to do this to enable my siblings to actually have the education that I won't have the opportunity to pursue.
You mean drive taxis?
Drive taxis, exactly right. And so what I mean by that is, when we told him about the platform, he was saying that I can actually build a software company using your platform, and I don't need to learn how to code. I don't need to go to college or university for 4 years. I can actually do that because I have great ideas every day driving around Barcelona. And when I saw his eyes lit up, I said, this is what it's all about. And that was really powerful to me. So this man, who was a great guy, and there's millions of great guys and gals out there every single day who are making sacrifices for the ones they love. And they're not able to realize their own dreams because, in a sense, they sacrifice their own dreams for a better world, for someone else, for someone they care about, someone they love. And that person, and then we talk about this on the website, this is for the quote unquote the little guy, the guy who doesn't have the institutional, or the gal who doesn't have institutional connections, who doesn't have access to big capital, who doesn't have access to these resources that a lot of us have in perhaps the modern world, or even in the modern world, a lot of us don't have access to these things. And so that is what empowerment's about. We're really about the 99%. When we say that it's empowering the 99% who don't know how to do software development to still realize that dream, we're actually about the 99% of the entire world. So this is the future. And that's what we're building. That's what really gets me excited.
Absolutely, and I'm with you there. I think that like you said, everybody has great ideas. I'm sure that the viewers of this video have come up with many great ideas, but sometimes I felt it's just too difficult to be able to make those ideas come to reality, and that's quite unfortunate. And we want to help solve that problem. That's a nut that's worth cracking, right? We want to help make it easier. We want to help reduce the obstacles, the barriers that unfortunately just exist, that prevent us from being able to take our ideas and make them reality, right? Whether they're financial limitations that naturally come from, if you're working, right? You've got financial limitations, you've got limitations in terms of time, and so these are the sorts of problems that we're able to help solve, right? And so for us, this is particularly rewarding, and we're really excited and looking forward to working with you guys, working with the community, to help you change the world. We want to be your partner in changing the world, making it a better place. We look forward to partnering with you, and we encourage you to reach out to us, to engage us, and share with us what you'd like to do, to share with the community and get to know one another. That's really what this is all about. Before we wrap up, Shabeer, is there any other questions or thoughts that you'd like to share?
I think the way we're growing this community, the organic way, going to meetups, actually going to the ground, the grassroots, and the traction that we've developed from the communities here in London, in America, in India, it's really blown us away. It's really been mind blowing, and it's really exciting. So I'd invite you to join our community. I also want to touch briefly on our partnerships with Labellium and ARM microchips. These are really, really important for us, and we really believe this is where the future is. Labellium, a leader in the IoT space for some time, and of course ARM, owned by SoftBank, and whose products are found in Apple and Samsung devices. These things are all aligning for us. It seems to be that the environment's ripe for this, and I think we're going to make some exciting revolutions, and we invite you to join that revolution that's happening right now, that movement that's happening right now to empower the 99% of the world. Let's do this.
Absolutely. So in parting, I just want to kind of add one thing to what you said. So, in our partnership with ARM, what we're really doing is we're enabling people to be able to build IoT devices using ARM IoT prototyping boards, or boards that are built by ARM partners. And so, while I was visiting our office in India, I had the pleasure of meeting some children, some lovely children. And, we worked with them very briefly to explain some of the fundamental concepts of our platform, some of the fundamental concepts of logic, like if statements and such. And they were actually able to build IoT devices in just a few minutes. And, it's rather extraordinary. I was quite moved, and the team that was there watching us, kind of film that event, the whole team was kind of in shock, right? Like, this is so simple. Kids really can do it. One of the things that you'll notice about our platform is that the way in which you define what you want the software to do is you grab these blocks and you connect them together. Now, this isn't an idea that we came up with. It's an idea that we were inspired. We saw at MIT Scratch, and the idea was that if kids are able to build games, right, with these blocks, then why can't we as adults build software, enterprise software? Why can't we build things that really make a difference to the world, right? And if we can do that, if we can empower people to be able to, drag and drop these things together and build applications, then we would be empowering, a huge swath of people. And what I'm really happy to see is this is kind of really gone full circle, is that we've used a concept that we saw at MIT that they were using to kind of create games. And we've been able to give those tools back to children and enable them to build much more important things, or I should say, much more impactful things, like IoT devices and software that can help change their world. So I think this is remarkable. I think it's an extremely empowering technology, and like I said, I really look forward to working with our community and partnering with them to impact the world and make it a better place for all of us. So in parting, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate your time, and we look forward to working with you, and we look forward to welcoming you to our community.
Thanks, guys. So like the channel, subscribe, and share the content, and join our movement. We'd love to be in touch with you. Thanks.